Your Wi-Fi is so strong when I'm from miles line and try to connect. So you keep it locked, bandwidth is hot, sign on a kind of.
So here's the thing. I met you in Remix.
Yeah.
We linked up. I was led to believe you were a producer. Okay? Sit down.
Led to believe I am. I'm gonna try to pull something over your eyes.
Yeah, you sit down, you play some beats.
Oh, boy.
I chose what now is Work, Eat, Shit, Sleep.
Work, eat, sleep. Work, eat, sleep. Work, eat, sleep.
That was it. Next time I saw you, you said, yeah, I'm kind of chilling with the beats. I'm doing some photography right now. I go, okay, so he's not really a producer. He can produce, but he's into this stuff. And then I'm listening to the album and I see different features, and then there's songs where there's no features, but I'm hearing singing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, what does he do?
Yeah.
Right?
Ah,
So-
man, that kills me.
Yeah, what are you?
Bro, I'm an artist.
Got me in the mood, get to know about you.
I don't try to limit myself to anything.
Mm-hmm.
I like what I like, and I try to experiment. The singing is something that I for a long time I realized that I think a lot of what we struggle with, like people in general outside of artistry, is fear. And I knew I liked singing. I just decided I'm gonna just run towards my fears. I'm not gonna like hesitate.
I don't think I'm going home tonight. Girl, you got me.
I've just been working on it since. And with the Black Block EP, that was like the first time I did that, like use my voice. My voice is on all the songs, like sometimes in the background, whatever. But yeah, I decided then that like.
Did you mix it?
Yeah, I mixed it as well.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
important because if you're self-conscious about singing, one of the best confidence boosts is the fact that
Mixing
you get to make yourself sound amazing.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
Before I even sang on the record, I've just been practicing. Like even as a rapper, like it's like I don't want to just rap and then or sing and then like I'm shifting my vocals all around the place in Logic. It's like no, get the performance all the way down pat, so that when you do the mix after, it could be even 10 times better instead of trying to fix things and like make it sound better. Just actually be better.
That's literally the difference between artists and whatever the hell we have now, where everybody can do everything.
Yeah.
Right? Like any human being can literally make a song now, and it takes no talent. It just takes technology, right?
But that's the advantage I think that we have as artists. We're actually putting over 10,000 hours into the actual musicality part. Because someone could put a couple loops together from a CD, but like I don't know. I could speak for me, maybe you could attest to this, but I try to put my heart into the music, and I think that translates. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, I used to get down and be like, oh, everyone's doing it, but there's a difference. There's a difference that people can hear the difference.
Yeah.
Because I know I can hear the difference. So
Yeah. I thought when I made Godmind that I was making a short project. And then I heard your project, and it's like 9 minutes, right?
Yeah.
What is was that your intention? Did you have an album ready to be 9 minutes long?
Yeah, I did. I thought your album was short too. Like, it's short enough to go through and comfortably go through it again without getting tired. But yeah, it was purposely short. I didn't know it was gonna be 9 minutes, but that's just what ended up happening.
So why Black Pop?
Black Pot because I wanted to put a name on what it is that I felt like is being appropriated the most in American culture, North American culture.
So like, you have this message. It's obvious that you have a message and you have a theme. Is your expectation that people are gonna pick up on a vibe and an understanding to bring them to this to this explanation that you're telling now?
Yeah, definitely. When I sent an email out to all the artists that were involved before they even recorded. The music is inspired by God, and I want the message to be as well. outside of what people are hearing in their lyrics, they knew what I was trying to do, and they themselves also believe and think the same way. I didn't want to make it outright preachy, but the underlying thing, which I think you picked up on, and hopefully other listeners pick up on, that's what I want it to be. That's what I think translated.
So The Mask. I watched. Okay, first the album came out, and along with the album art, you have this masked McCallaman, the dentist thing, right? Then an interview came out, and you're rocking the mask, right? I'm expecting you to show up in a mask, right? So why are you in full face?
Yo, girls say I have a good smile.
That's
so
what it is. You're like, you know what? I'm confident now.
I'm confident now. Got like after the album, a couple girls started hitting me up. Something like that. But
They have nice eyes. They could see your eyes from the album art.
Oh man, I just more and more I'm getting more confident for sure, and I think a lot of people are afraid to be beautiful. A lot of people are afraid to shine, even as males, even as black males. It's like afraid to, like, you're not supposed to be seen. You know what I mean? As a black male, you're supposed to be like in the corner, just like keeping to yourself. Put your hood over your head. You know what I mean? Even if it's summer, wearing hoodies, like why?
I kind of carried the same thing with all of my album covers. Where it's like you don't see my face on any album cover. So I kind of understand that concept of the mask.
I feel like as black people in the black community, we too often we're in the back. Like I go to the library at Ryerson sometimes, and like all the black people are on the computers that are at the back. Even though the bus laws aren't in place, we're still going to the back. Everyone else is fully being, but we're trying to be less intimidating or less this or less imposing.
100%.
You know?
Everywhere I go, I'm 100% aware of the fact that I'm black.
Yeah.
I might step on a bus and I'll either sit in the front because I'm conscious of the fact that I'm black, and I sit in the flip in the front, and I sit there comfortably, or I walk to the back, and I sit in the corner, and I think I'm perpetuating something wrong.
I think visibility is important. That's why I think it's important to challenge those things and be in the front, or to go to class and be in the front of the room, or to read books on the train, so that other young black youth can see a black man reading a book in a public space. Like challenging what's cool and what's not cool. You know what I mean? Like, not everyone's gonna become a ball player. So, like, show people different avenues.
Eye to eye with eye, bar for bar with me, y'all no longer eat like Muhammad while a Ramadan. Try to Ramadan, you will fight for my demise. A molecule of pride inside of you, adios, sit the ambiance of my audio. Don't get it crossed like the laces in your Adidas.
So, what inspired you to pick up and make the God Mind? And how are you in terms of continuing with this or stopping the ride?
I think God Mind was more an epiphany than anything, right? So I made, Allergy Pills and Alcohol as the first project, and when I made that, I knew timeline-wise that Almost Never would be my last project. So there was this idea already of certain projects in a certain order, right? So when I made Almost Never, I was done. Not to the point that I had quit, but I was done the foresight of artistry, right? All the music and all the things I had planned was done. So God Mind was the first thing that ever existed that was unplanned.
And what inspired God Mind?
Life. Like, here's the thing, God Mind started getting created out of something as simple as inspiration for the reception of Almost Never, to things as complicated as real life events happening. For instance, there's in the intro, there's David Baum speaking, okay? I took a snippet of his. That was brought into my workplace and played in a meeting. And I'm listening to it and I'm thinking, this is me. This is exactly me. And it just stuck with me. We were having a conversation at my mother-in-law's house, and my sister-in-law went and started playing the piano, and she said, this is how this feels right now. And she started playing this piece from Chopin, right? So now this intro is a mix between this piece that was brought into my work, this YouTube clip, and this piece that was played in my mother-in-law's house, right? These things were just being given to me. you know? So by the time I decided, hey, I'm going to finish an album, or I'm going to put out an album, I had 60% of an album finished. So it really didn't come from planning or inspiration to make it. I was inspired by the album itself being made.
Would you attribute that to divine inspiration, or what do you call that?
I attributed it to divine inspiration, yes. Because I was fine not making it.
I noticed on the album too, you make a lot of references to consciousness, and the word consciousness and is a big part
of this album. Yeah.
Yeah, and so and the fight over consciousness, in terms of, are you only conscious, like in some songs you talk about, are you only conscious online? Are you only supporting in hashtags, or are you actually doing something for real?
Yeah, so I guess I'm a pessimist, right? I call myself a pessimist from an objective standpoint. From something more subjective, I would say I'm a realist. So when it comes to this whole consciousness concept, the devil is ignorance is the name of one of the songs, and that's almost the standout opinion of the entire project for me, is this idea that if you believe in a person with horns and a pitchfork and hooves and all these things, whatever, right? To me, that in itself is a lack of consciousness, right? So it's like, I tried to define it as the devil is ignorance. Like literally the concept of being ignorant is being satanic. And that actually attributes back to the cover of the album, right? It's not me trying to uphold a demon or a devil on the cover. It's me killing ignorance. That was the whole concept of God mind, is this idea of consciousness, God mind, using the mind or the consciousness to be God, to actualize God. And by doing so, you are killing ignorance. You are killing the devil. Yeah.
Interesting.
That's it.
Thanks for this conversation.
T.O.T.O. we hold the people over the P.O. the keynote speaker bleed out the speakers over beats of heroes, the people who see through the scene and seek a deeper reason to be. My libido isn't stimulated by the evils. I mean it, the screen is leaving me feeble, the sheep is leading the weak who think the media in it a mean state of